You don't know the
Which face? Which face?
that lovely mom. Beautiful. So pretty. Yeah, Mazi. You're Nollywood. That lovely mom. Beautiful. So pretty. Yeah, Mazi. That lovely mom. Beautiful. So pretty. Yeah, Mazi.
Until the lion learns to talk, every story, every narrative will glorify the hunter. Now, with that quote being said, I have a little story for you. Don't go nowhere. Last week, on the 19th of February 2025, at about 7 a.m. in the morning, I had just woken up from sleep. I was in the middle of my meditations when suddenly my younger brother, IK, began calling my phone. And because it was too early in the day to make connections with the outside world, I deliberately ignored his call and continued with my formation, promising myself to call him back. But then, barely 30 minutes after I ignored his call, my youngest brother, Ahanna, began to call my phone too. And then a weird feeling started to envelope me because the timing was off. They rarely call me, and this type of coincidence was just not to be ordinary. And so I paused my meditation and picked Ahanna's call. And I said, Ahanna, AK, how are you? He said, sister, I'm not fine. I said, what happened? He said, sister, mommy is dead. In that moment, I felt cold chills on my body. I said, what? Anna, what are you saying? He said, mommy died this morning around 7, like a few minutes ago. I said, Anna, what are you saying? And then he said, it was in the middle of the night around 1 a.m. that suddenly mommy began to have a heart failure, and daddy was out of town. He was in Abuja for a meeting, and so they had a hard time getting her to the hospital. And before they could rally round and take her to the hospital, she was already in coma. And it wasn't long after their arrival that the doctors declared her dead, and that as Ahanna was speaking to me, mommy was already in the hospital, in the mortuary. I said, give me mortuary, like, I don't understand. It's happening too fast. Too much to process. First of all, heart failure as at 1 a.m. Dead. Okay. Dead people have been prayed back to life. But mortuary, how did we get there so fast? He said, yeah, Justice is there already. Like, she's in the mortuary. I have heard that there are several stages to grief. The first one being anger. It was that day that I experienced it for real. I went full-on ballistic on Ahanna. I began to curse him out and shake him like, why did you do this to me? I took it personal. I felt victimized. I felt like, how could my mom die and you people did not call me the other? From the moment that she was struggling, it lingered. It was a couple hours. She didn't just die suddenly. Why didn't you call me? As if calling me would have done a lot. Although my faith is so strong that a lot could have happened, to be honest. Because at about that time that they said she was struggling with her heart, I was awake here in my house. Around that time, I was awake and I was praying, speaking in tongues for a daughter of mine who was in surgery room right about that time. How was I to know that while I was praying for the life of someone else, my mother was losing her own life? And so it was 1 hour of intense anger and rage with Ahanna that had me wailing on the floor. And after I was done cursing him out, I cut the call. My other brother, the one that was calling before Ahanna, he called me and I maintained the rage with him. I told him, you did this to me. And after I cut them off the phone, I sat on the floor and I began to think about my life. Think about how, whoa, yet again, yet again, another harsh reality of life just hit me. And I was forced to take my own medication, those advices that I give out to people freely as a mental health advocate. Life came reminding me, yeah, it is what it is. Feel the feelings, but don't become the emotions. You can choose to respond to her death, or you can react. Whichever one you choose will determine how you will navigate through this loss. Grief is a heavy emotion. As a mental health advocate, I have made many videos, gone on many seminars, had several speaking engagements where I have severally narrated the many triggers of mental illnesses in people, one of which is loss of a loved one. So I was reminded subconsciously that if you don't take time, Chacha, you might disconnect again. And I know where I'm coming from. After 2 major health crises that had me gasping for my own life and that had me struggling with a redemption of an image, a reputation that was ruined as a resultant effect of that crisis. And so I began to breathe in and out. I began to breathe in and out. I suddenly remembered all the many trauma responses that I had read and developed for myself. I suddenly remembered that for me, privacy, secrecy is my healing chamber. I always say that the only energy that I tune into, the only frequency that I identify with is congratulations, anything that is exciting. And so I propose in my heart not to let the news out, because come to think of it, what has telling the general public about the sudden demise of my mom got to do with my healing? Especially in that moment when the news was still fresh. So that what will happen exactly? So that the whole world will start to what? Flood me with sad messages on top of the sadness I was feeling? No. I felt like, no, I will cry, but you're never going to see me cry. And no, you're never going to tell me sorry. Don't tell me sorry. It's already a sorry situation. I'm sorry my mom died. Mommy, I'm sorry you died. But don't tell me sorry, because somehow my emotions cannot handle being put or seen in a sympathetic light. It's a mind thing. And remember, I'm not like you. I'm wired differently. How you will react is not how I will react. And so I didn't post the death of my mom, but I was mourning. Eventually, when I was able to put myself together, I made a post that reflects loss. If you scroll down my Instagram and Facebook, you will see the very next day, being the 20th of February, that I posted several videos, but the first one and the first slide is the one where there are individuals in tremendous pain and anguish and sorrow, and they're wailing out like, ah! And then you see a figure, it's a graphics like Jesus holding on to them, comforting them. And in my caption, I did say that let the Lord our God bring healing today that physically and emotionally in pain. That post was in reference to my mom. No, I didn't have to put her picture so that people will know she is dead. Now, I have come to know that just because I didn't post, and just a few days ago on Sunday, the news of what happened last week eventually made it out, and some of you think that the little demons in you will come to trigger my peace. It's not going to happen. I won't let you. I've done a lot of healing to be at this point of peace and clarity that I am right now. You don't have the powers to trigger me. This is a brand new me. I think differently right now. I behave differently. My mindset has faced a paradigm shift. You will have to get to know me again. It's my mom. It's our loss. It's not your loss. When did this whole public validation thing become such a norm in our society that I have to bend to the dictates of society? I always say that I'm non-conformist. I am non-conformist. These rules, laws, They were man-made, and as pretty as some of them sound, they were made to put man in check, but some of them don't work for some of us. So what do? We break that mold. We were not made to fit into that mold. So I see the news of my mom's death trending, and some people are coming to my page, writing all kinds of stuff. Let me tell you something. I would have been mad at you if I didn't already feel sorry for you. You know why? You are beneath me, your accusations are baseless, and you are very inconsequential right now. I post from a happy place because I'm a happy soul. So you always see me identify with happiness. The losses that I encounter, I channel it inwardly, learn my mistakes, and move on in silence. But the good thing about this experience that I have gathered in the past days is that, number one, situations will expose how people really feel about you. In the past, you bloggers in Nigeria especially have made a habit of wrecking my image. And it hurt the most then because I know how hard I worked to become this name that y'all mess with right now. And I did operate, I currently still do, operate from the mindset that silence too is a form of response. So because I didn't speak up for myself with all the many false untrue narratives that you have had to give out to the public about me, it never meant I didn't know what to say or that the truth was not inherent in me. It just meant I was too classy. I didn't want to condescend that low. But now also I know that while silence can be a form of response, expression too is also a response. So this video is to tell you that, listen, it's not everything that has to do with me that I will put out at the time you expect me to. My life is my life. I am the captain of my own ship, master of my own fate. I'm so glad that being away from public eye has given me room to heal, cry, and I'm starting to recover on the loss of my mom. And let me tell you this for free. I have heard in the past from people that have encountered extreme grief, people that have been triggered mentally by grief, that what made them sleep is the fact that they couldn't bear to see their loved one suddenly dead. They couldn't bear to see them stiff. They couldn't bear to see them in that coffin. They couldn't bear to see them being lowered into the ground. They never recovered from it. Some people tell me that they don't sleep at night till days because every time they shut their eyes, the image of their mom, dad, brother, sister, son, daughter, whoever it is, flashes in their brains. Listen, some of us have a photographic memory and we are cautious what we see into it or what we let creep into it. As I make this video, I'm still unsure whether I will attend my mom's burial. And if I do, I'm pretty sure I will not want to see her corpse because the memory of her that I want to preserve in my head, in my subconscious forever, are the happy memories of all the times that we laughed and gossiped and threw word banters and been like, woo, mommy. That's it. That's what I want. I don't want to see my mother dead. I don't want to see her stiff. I don't want to see her in the coffin. So that what will happen? I will not be messed up mentally. Why do we have to wreck the living in honor of the dead? Don't get it twisted. If you have the heart to take on the dead, carry them on your body, dress them up, sit in the ambulance with them, by all means do. But some of us have come to know our strengths and weaknesses, and we will work in alignment with what works because we cannot keep falling apart every time. Now, to the people that currently are on my pages cursing out, I pray you heal. I'm not your problem. And for the people that posted my mom's death as a form of validation, you need healing too. And the people that have sent condolence messages to the post they have seen, God bless you. You can now feel free to express your deepest condolence underneath this post. Because why not? I finally let it out. May the gentle soul of my beloved mother, Barrister Nneka Elizabeth, AK, my best friend, Mommy, rest in peace. To the people that have lost someone, currently lost someone, and will lose someone, if you're an emotional person and you find yourself falling apart easily, let me tell you something. Take your time on your healing. Don't bow to societal pressure or dictates, all right? safeguard you, safeguard your emotions. The dead is long and gone. Love them in your heart, respect them, but look out for you, because honey, as I always say, it is a thin line between sanity and insanity, and you don't have to cross that line before you know that shit gets real. My name is Chacha, and I am a mental health advocate. I brought you this message in my capacity as the founder, Meticulous People Foundation.
Thank you so much for watching this video. For daily entertainment, news and celebrity good and bad updates and all you need to know that's happening in the country, don't forget to hit this red subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to always stay connected to us. One love and God bless you all. Don't forget to thumbs up to this video and comment down below what you think about this.